TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. We're here today, got a special guest. But first, before we get into that, we're here live in Power Rooms USA. If you ever want to shoot your podcast, you want to be in a place where your podcast is going to sound right and you have a good atmosphere where you're comfortable, reach out to Power Rooms USA at Power Rooms USA on Instagram. But without further ado, we have a special guest today, somebody who is very knowledgeable in boxing, somebody who always have me clicking on the videos he's posting on Instagram and YouTube. We got Greg Hackett here today.
Appreciate you.
So today we gonna get into some exclusive interview with Greg Hackett, with G, as they say. So I'm gonna ask him some questions today and speak about the boxing, life, everything in general. So where are you from originally, G?
I was born, of course, in Philadelphia, but Abbotsford and East Falls projects, between the two.
Okay.
My dad from East Falls, my mother from Abbotsford, so.
Oh, so you're kind of bouncing back and forth.
And then Germantown.
Oh yeah, what part of Germantown?
I was on Shelton and Musgrave, so I grew up around there from probably like 12 to like 18.
Okay.
I mean, Chew and Shelton, that area. It's crazy around there. Haney Street, all that, the jungle. And then, moved down North Philly. I spent some time in Bristol, PA, Maryland.
Oh, you all over?
Yeah, I moved around.
No, that's what's up. So you currently in the boxing world. What kind of prompted you or what guided you to get into boxing?
I mean, my dad, when I was a kid, my dad was boxing. He probably was about 20, 21 years old. I was about 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And he used to take me to the gym with him. So that was like my first interaction with it and getting to see it up close. But then me actually getting in the gym myself was when I was 12 years old. My mom was like, you keep getting in fights, you might as well just be a fighter.
Okay.
Go to the gym. So went to the gym, Waterview Recreation Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just something, like when I walked in there, I was like, this like where I need to be. Like the smell, seeing blood on the mat. I'm like, yeah, you could really go in here.
Yeah,
like,
you see a lot of fighters who kind of say the same thing you're saying. Like, man, once they got in the gym, they knew this is where they need to be.
Yeah, it's like I always say, like, it's some men that's like they more business minded. Some men that's more about physical. You know what I mean? Some of them just like sports or whatever else, fishing, dirt bikes or whatever. It was boxing for me.
Okay. Now you speak about your parents. Your parents still around, or? Yeah,
they still around, but they not together. They was young when they had me. They both was like 16. Well, my mom was 15. My dad was 16, so they was real young, and my mom. I spent a lot of time with my mom. Of course, stayed with my mom. My dad, he dealt with drugs, but he started trying to get his life together, driving trucks and stuff like that. So he traveled a lot.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of like phone time with my dad. Sometimes I didn't get to talk to him, but my mom was really like the one holding me down for sure.
All right. So now, speaking about your parents, now, do you have any children or anybody that's
I got 3 kids. Yep.
3 kids.
Yep. 2 sons. I just recently had a daughter.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, your son, is he into boxing or anything of that nature?
My oldest son was, and then I didn't force it on him, but it was like your dad a trainer. You might as well, box. So he would box, but I wouldn't be able to spend the time I could spend with him because I was traveling too. Going back and forth to camp, California and stuff like that. So he would get bigger every time I came home. He was gaining like 10 pounds each time. For a kid, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting about 3 or 4 amateur fights, and then he found football at 14.
Okay.
My brother convinced me to let him play, so I let him play, and he's been loving football ever since.
So he's playing now currently?
Yeah, he's in Northeast High School playing football.
What position?
D tackle. Sometimes they might move him to linebacker, stuff like that.
Oh, that's what's up. So I'm pretty sure. So what's like what is that for you, like, to be a parent, to see your son or see your children doing different things in sports or doing things that they like to do? This episode of TBISE is brought to you by Mecca Care LLC. Mecca Care LLC, giving you an abundance of what you need. They're a home care agency located in the Philadelphia area, Montgomery County, Chester County, Bucks County, and Philadelphia County. As I mentioned, if you're looking to get home care services for your loved one, call 215-644-8341. That's 215-644-8341. And it's Mecca Care LLC, located at 5025 Germantown Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 1944. If you're looking for home care services for your loved one, contact Mecca Care LLC. giving you an abundance of what you need. It's 215-644-8341. That's 215-644-8341.
I mean, you just want to see them do things that keep them out of trouble.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That make you feel like, all right, I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? Keeping him out of trouble, keeping him fed, you know what I mean? Keeping him clothed, he good. You know what I mean? So I feel good. I have a better relationship with my son and my youngest son than my dad had with me, so I feel a little bit better. I'm not doing everything I would like to do, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot better than where I came from.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm kind of like in the same boat. So it's difficult to be a parent, man, especially now, man. You know, look at where we from and we see every day, like you see the kids now, it's like you can't turn on the news without seeing somebody 16, 17, 18 either killing someone or being killed. It's like it's crazy in our city. Yeah,
and that's what people don't understand. Is like people want to be perfect in this world, but this world isn't perfect, and it's like if I can get them off the street or keep them off the street, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now the gyms that you in now, is there a lot of kids coming into the gyms training, or is it something that you would advise the children to do, kind of relieve the stress? Because boxing is like, you know, it's therapeutic if you really think about it.
It's so the thing is now, I mean we already know money rules the world, whatever. The problem is now in boxing, a lot of the gyms are charging too much to have the kids. So you're not getting the meanness of kids coming in, because the mean guys are normally poor. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kids you see now are privileged kids, and they really don't want to fight, a lot of them. Some of them do, some of them don't. You know what I mean? And that's the kids you see. And the kids that's on the street, those are the guys you need in the gym, but it's kind of tough with the way it's set up now.
Maybe we can probably set something up for, you know, whereas though, I was thinking about that, maybe set up like something whereas though it's an outlet for the kids who maybe can't afford it to get in the gyms. Yeah. You know, because
it's something going on, because the rec centers is how we came up. And we didn't pay much money at all. I think I paid $20 my first time signing up, and that was it. So you was able to train, you know what I mean? And your trainer was going to be there at 4 o'clock, and we was done at 7:30. You know what I mean? So you get a good 3 hours in the gym. And that wore you out, kept you tired for the rest of the night. You go ahead, go home, get your son to eat, and get back the next day. Now it's like you can't get them in there because it costs too much. You know what I mean? And then the recreation gyms, I don't know what's going on with them, but they're not letting the trainers really do their thing. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
So how did you go from, you know, being a boxer to going into training? Was it like just a gradual transition, or something that you always wanted to do?
I think my coach told me years ago, one of my coaches, Kev Carmody, he said, no matter what, you're going to always be in boxing. He said, you love boxing. He said, so I could see you just doing anything in boxing. So when I was about like 26, going into 27, I was at a gym kind of downtown, right behind Spring Garden. And I seen these kids in the gym. They was training, but they had potential to fight. And I was like, yo, we got to get these guys in the ring. You know what I mean? We got to get them fighting. So I started helping some of the other trainers out, and we put like a team together, and it started from there. That was like the winter of 2012. Okay. You know what I mean? So who are some of the current fighters that you're training now? Jabril Noble's 130 pounder. He's 5-0. Okay. 4 knockouts. Jesse Hart. I think Jesse 30-3 with like 27 knockouts or something like that. It's a few. Josephat Ortiz. He's I think 13-1 or 12-1. Okay. I mean, with like 7 knockouts. Stuff like that, guys like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in boxing, as we know, like you said, boxing is a tricky sport. Yeah. How do you keep fighters focused for those who aren't getting paid money and keep them grounded? Because, you know, they got to live. They got to take care of their families. Right. Some of them have children and, you know, personal things going on. Right. How do you keep them focused if they're not making the big money or getting the consistent fights? I mean, you got to remind them, one, that we on a mission. We trying to get to the big money. Mm-hmm. 2, you know what I mean, depending on the guy, you might have to remind them not to do certain things. But, I mean, it's not much you can do because, like you just said, he got a family he got to take care of. A lot of these guys have wives, they got kids. You know what I mean? They got a home they can take care of. So a lot of them work. And, you know, you just try to remind them not to do nothing stupid. Okay. Be honest.
Exactly, because that's a thing. Even with people in general, like if the money or the opportunities aren't always there consistently, people always come back or resort to what they know.
Yeah,
and then just be like, man.
And that's just pressure. That's what pressure will do to anybody.
Yeah. So for you still box, you still go in the ring, and so what motivates you to still go in the ring and be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go.
Yo, it's easy to block cat in the trenches of Gutter City. Listen, I'm about to put y'all on, man. This is the hottest clothing brand in Philadelphia and the East Coast right now, and it's black business. I need y'all to support that ASAP. You mean Holland? Go to www.holland.com. Get all the exclusive brands, man. Support black business, man. It's Philly.
Like I said, there's people who like to get dressed. There's people that like to ride dirt bikes. I'm scared of dirt bikes. You know what I mean? I think that's like insane. But fighting is my thing. That's my thrill. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I get my blood going. So that's what it's about for me. Like, I don't care about who it is. I just want to get in there. It's a rush.
One of the first videos I seen, man, I'm like, I don't know if it's on YouTube or Instagram or something. So I'm watching a video. I see you in the street fighting some boy on the street. I don't know. You caught him with a right hand. He back right up. So I'm like, oh. Then after that, I see the interview. You talking about boxing. So I'm like, this guy crazy, man. So I'm like, what's going on, man? What prompted you to go to the street, get into a street fight, man?
No, that was his little situation in the gym where, you know what I mean, the guy he got mad. Somebody said something about him, but he kind of tried to take it out on me.
Okay.
And I didn't understand it at first. And then somebody was like, gee, you got to look. You like older. You out of shape. These guys is in shape. He not going to go at them. So he thought he was going to pick you. But I'm like, I'm the worst one out of all of them. Like, they just in shape. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah. So, I don't know. We just ended up outside.
Yeah, y'all ain't just say, look, step in the ring. Y'all just like, man, let's go outside.
Yeah, because the kind of situation it was and how he was acting, it reminded me like, all right, he trying to really fight. Like, he want to see really where I'm at.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, we got to fight for real.
Yeah, you set him up for that right hand perfectly.
Appreciate you.
So I just seen you was just in a heavyweight fight. Is a heavyweight with Dominique Mayfield?
Yeah.
Yo, how did that happen? What was going on? They just called you. You was like, man.
No, I called them. I was looking for some rec. I needed something to do. Sometimes I'm gonna be real, man. I got like a bad temper sometimes, or attitude. I don't know how you would put it, but and I'll be like, man, I need something to do. I need to get some of this off. Like you said, the stress. So I'm like, I need to get a fight. So I looked on BoxRec. I seen that he was fighting, and I knew the promoters because I had recently worked with them like earlier this year. So I'm like, yo, let me fight Dom. They like, you'll fight Dom? I said, yeah. So why not? They like, all right, let's try to put it together. And I guess they asked Dom and them said, yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, let's get it.
So he's from the city? He's from Philly?
He's from South Philly.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. So I seen you also, another guy that I know you fought a couple of months ago, Dafir Smith.
Yeah.
Because I train sometimes. Well, I go train at the Schuler gym in West Philly. That's where I'm from. So I go in there from time to time and go in there and train. And I see you fight with the fight that you had with Dafir Smith. How did that come about? What happened with that?
Well, I was supposed to. Well, me and Dafir actually fought for real one time, and then like probably like 3 years ago, and then we did an exhibition. The last one was an exhibition because I was supposed to fight a guy from Delaware. He pulled out, so they called Dafir. Was like, yo, we don't want to, like throw everything off. Can you come do an exhibition with Greg?
Yeah.
Dafir was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I mean, that's how that happened.
That's what's up. So just jumping into the current boxing landscape with boxing. You train, what gym do you normally train out your fighters out of now?
Right now I'm down 5th and Burks at 365.
Okay. And I'm assuming, I think Boots trained there sometime, or he was training there.
No, when we was all in the gym together, we was at Philly 101. That's up Frankfurt. And right now Boots and them, they all the way up northeast at Philly's next champ.
Okay. So just to speak a little bit about Boots, he currently has a fight set, but Crowley, he had to back out due to eye injury or something where he couldn't pass the eye test.
Yeah.
Who do you think we're going to see Boots fight? Is that something that we're going to, is this consistently going to happen with Boots, people backing out? And,
I mean, that's the big question right now. They're trying to figure out who they're going to fill in. But this is happening with Boots because he's completely dominant at 147 pounds.
Yeah.
So I personally feel like they're trying to rush him to go to 154 because they think that he'll kind of average out in size, speed, and everything at 154.
So is this something that the promoters are doing, or do you think that the fighters just something that everybody working collectively to try to
it's not
force him out the 147 division.
It's not directly the promoters, but what it is, Eddie Hearn. I mean, he went and got Boots to sign. I mean, he did a great job negotiating. He got Boots to sign. Cody Crawley is with PBC, so I'm not putting nothing on them. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but that is their fighter. Out of nowhere, his eyes don't work. He got to pull out.
Yeah.
Now they know it's going to be a scramble to get these other guys in there because most of the guys are over there at PBC. You know what I mean? Most of the names that we do know, like Barrios, Stanley Onis, guys like that. So they got to find them an opponent. It's going to be kind of tough because what happens is they're going to find somebody, Boots going to beat him, and then everybody going to say, well, who was that guy?
Exactly.
He not fighting nobody, but it ain't his fault. So really, it don't matter to me. Boots just got to stay active. As long as he do what he got to do, you know what I mean, he'll be cool. But what I mean by they trying to force him to 54 is because if we're going to truly believe this guy is that good, we got to see him in there with guys his size. They keep acting like Boots is 6'5". He's not that. Boots is probably 5'10", and a half. He's not that big. You know what I mean? There's guys bigger, probably at 47, height-wise. But I guess because of the talent level and, you know, the things he's doing in the ring, they want to see if he can do it at a higher weight class. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So the narrative that they paint is, like you said, they hold off the fights. Don't let them fight these guys with so-called names. Yeah. And then when they just throw anyone in there, they say, hey, who has he fought?
Yeah.
It's like.
And the truth is, anybody can hurt you, especially with 8-ounce gloves on. Anybody can hurt you. So it's a lot of disrespect being thrown around when they talking about these grown men that's been training for weeks for these fights. These guys are not ducks, as they call them. They're not ducks. It just, the talent is just not there. You know what I mean? But he's still a hardworking guy. He can punch. He's a grown man. You got to respect him as such. You know what I mean? But that's just the game now, though.
Yeah. So is it true what they say? Because I saw some things where they say, a lot of people say, like, Boots trains, he's always in the gym.
Yeah.
He don't go out. He's just a student of the game. They kind of was, comparing him to Floyd as far as the work in the gym.
Yeah.
Is that a true statement about Boots?
Yeah, he really is like a freak. Like, you know what I mean? What happens is once in a while you get an athlete that they really serious about what they do, like Kobe, like LeBron, Michael Jordan, things like that. So in boxing right now, you got Boots Ennis, you got Bud Crawford, those type of guys. They really in the gym. They love boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, they really love the art of it. They really love the sport, and they really like hurting people.
Yeah, because they were saying that. A few things I saw, they were saying they can't even find sparring for Boots at times.
Yeah, it get kind of crazy for you got to bring guys from all over, or sometimes they a lot bigger. But I mean, he handled it well. And like I always say, if you want sparring, I mean, you got to fly him in and pay sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that. But I don't really see him having too much trouble getting sparring. He be having a lot of guys come through there.
Okay. Now, as far as, I know you mentioned Crawford. I know everybody was talking about Boots and Crawford. Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see this fight at some point?
I think we'll see it probably like the end of 2025, and it'll probably have to do with those guys from with Saudi Arabia. Yeah, they probably gonna put
that big money for that fight.
Yeah, because that's all it's about. It ain't about nothing else. That fight could definitely happen, but it's about the money.
So who determines the money and whether the money is there or not? Is it the promoters? I want to pay you this. I don't want to pay you this. How does that work with the promoters?
It's because it's always about a return. You know what I mean? So it's like the promoter himself even has investors and stuff like that. Okay. You know what I mean? So whatever he's willing to put up and lose, and I'm saying lose because you could lose, you know what I mean? That puts like a base on the checks on what the fighters get paid. You know what I mean? Because of course the promoter want to make some money too. So where a Bud might have asked for, when he was about to fight Earl, he was asking for like $25 million right away. And they was like, no, we ain't doing that. Like, we can't give you $25 million. That's only because after all the pay-per-view numbers and everything come back and then they pay taxes, whatever it go, they got to make sure they made some money. Okay. So I think the money is there. You know what I mean? But they always want to make sure everybody get paid. So it just depends on what the budget is.
Exactly. So in boxing, as we know, it's like real political, meaning like,
super.
you're not going to fight this guy if you're over here, or you're not going to fight this guy if you're over here.
Yeah.
But you hear a lot where they say that the fighters can make the fights happen. They just have to want to fight.
Yeah, but that ain't true. Because if you got one dog and he could possibly be the best in the world, you're not going to risk it so early with another guy that could possibly be the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because if you lose your real estate, like, okay, Wilder before Fury was the most dangerous fighter in the world.
Yeah.
He was knocking everybody out. He got in there with Fury. 3 great fights. They did their thing.
Yeah.
But he ain't been the same since.
Nah.
That can happen to your dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the promoters, they tricky. They funny. I like how, you know what I mean? I respect game. And they making a lot of moves nowadays, and they doing some good stuff, but it's watering down the sport.
Yeah,
it is.
I think it seemed like, you know, we are getting a few fights where as though, you know, that we wanted to see. Like if you think about Ryan Garcia and Tank, we saw that fight.
Yeah,
that was a fight we wanted to see, and they made that happen. And then right after that, you got Crawford and Spence.
Yeah,
but just to speak to, you know, go back a little bit to Crawford and Boots. How do you think that fight goes? What do you think? Like, what do you think can possibly happen in that fight? Like, you see if they got in the ring, because they kind of actually similar to me as far as the switching up, and you speak about the pedigree as far as the wanting to train and how they want to do. You know what I mean? They in the gym, they students of the game. So this, to me, in my opinion, I would think that this would be like a crazy fight. Like, so what do you think about that fight?